The New York Knicks are in crisis mode, aren't they?
No,
Aren't the Knicks struggling right now?
they are.
I mean, a 4-game losing streak, 2 for 9 over your last 11 games.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Brunson's been in and out the lineup. Karl-Anthony Towns is facing trade rumors. They want to get him out of the city, just like they did Julius Randle, right, Chill? I would think that the Knicks are in crisis mode right now. And I'd be lying if I said this ear-to-ear grin was just for the television screen, because it's not. I am happy as hell that the Knicks are in crisis mode. Chat, what's going on in New York? What's going on in Manhattan? What's going on with the Knicks? Is everything bound to crumble again? Are the Knicks bound to go back into their 25 years of just mediocrity? Let's talk about it, fellas. What's going on with the New York Knicks? Are they really in trouble, or are they not in trouble?
Ron, you know that the New York Knicks, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet with you, Ron. The New York Knicks are J-Lo. The New York Knicks love being in love. They don't love staying in love. The minute we got problems, we need to break up. The minute there's some bullshit going on, we got to break up. Okay, this New York Knicks team, which was comprised of a really good wing in OG Anunoby, you traded for Mikal Bridges, and you end up giving up 5 ones for him. He's actually been really good for them. You got arguably the best guard in the East on your group in Jalen Brunson. You traded for Cat, and you were super ecstatic about it. You now change the offense when you get Mike Brown in, and these guys are adjusting to it. So this is a part of the season where things are getting a little tricky. But instead of working it out, get rid of Cat. Just like you did with Julius Randle when you had, count 'em, Mars, 5 straight 50-loss seasons. You get Julius Randle, you start to turn it around. Julius Randle isn't very good in the playoffs. Get Julius Randle out of here. Julius Randle is actually doing really well in Minnesota, by the way. Yes, he is. I say that to say the New York Knicks fan base drives me absolutely insane with the way that they handle things. They drive me nuts. The biggest problem that the New York Knicks have right now is that their offense is different. And because their offense is different, Cat is struggling adjusting to it. And there is no patience there. We got to do this right now. And I think that that's their biggest problem. If they can get some continuity within their offense, if Cat, when he doesn't get the first read, if we could get him to stay engaged in the offense, then I think that we can get some more continuity. If he cuts to the basket and he's not open, with him not being open, he'll just basically be out of the play. I think Mikal Bridges has actually done really well in this offense, not just in transition, but just finding open spots, particularly in the mid-post and in the mid-range, because I think his game is really good there. And his catch-and-shoot game has been really good. OG Anunoby has been a bit hot and cold, but again, this offense is what's been the issue for them in terms of continuity. Not everybody, right? Not everybody, because they actually have had a good offense. But some of the people like Cat, for example, they've kind of struggled in this offense. So because of that, and the Knicks are on this slide right now, and there's an effort issue, immediately we got to get rid of the coach. We got to get rid of Cat. Knicks fans are nuts. They drive me crazy.
Clean house, Chill. Clean house.
Unbelievable. Fire everybody. Give me a break, man. Damn. What are we doing?
But when we say the league hits you fast, it was only 36 days ago that they won the NBA Cup. 36 days only, Chill.
A month.
And it's all been downhill since they said that they didn't want to raise a banner. So you can look into that how you wish. But
because why, Dame? The reason why they don't want to raise the banner, because why?
Because they got bigger fish to fry, apparently.
But now, what's going on? Everybody got to get fired. Give me a break, man. I'm so sick of this Knicks team, yo. I swear. I'm so sick of these dudes.
But after they won the cup, I think a lot of us thought that they were cemented as a sort of top 4 or 5 team in the league. But you can tell a lot about a team through adversity, and it hasn't looked good. This feels like a team that has a disjointed locker room. And for me, it actually does start with Mike Brown. I think he has a complicated history as a head coach. I think there's always a honeymoon period there, and then it gets a little bit nasty after that. And Chill, to your point, it's quite obvious that Cat has struggled to find his place in this offense. And it was very worrying in preseason when he said it. It probably should have raised a few more eyebrows when he did say that in preseason, and it's sort of played itself out. And then you combine that with the OG slump, with Jaylen Brown being in and out of the lineup because he's been injured, but they're not particularly good when he's been playing. and then the team's not bought in. So I think there's a combination of things when teams are struggling. But really, like realistically, when you look at this roster and you look at the East, there should be a team that should be running the East, but they feel like so far away right now. They were my pick to come out the East, but I'm having some reservations about that right now.
Mars, I would like to hear your genius observation on the New York Knicks. Is this a glaring issue, or are we blowing this out of proportion, how us Americans typically do, especially the New York residents?
I think there's problems. I mean, it depends when you say blowing things out of proportion. What's being said? Like
Trade
divorce. That is a divorce, right, Chill?
Trade Cat. Not just trade Cat. Is Mike Brown on the hot seat? Are we prepared to move on from Mike Brown? Mike Brown is the issue. Stuff like that. Those are the things that are circulating, Mars.
I don't think that's blowing things out of proportion. I mean, from my perspective, I don't think Mike Brown and Cat work. I don't think what Mike Brown wants the Knicks to do fits Cat. I think Cat's having probably his worst year in a while. Anything I've heard from Cat doesn't sound the most promising in terms of his enjoyment of basketball. Mike Brown has his philosophies, and sometimes like I've been speaking about this for like the past week or whatever. Like some coaches just don't fit certain players. I don't think that means the coach is bad or that means the player is bad. Some people just don't fit together. I think, yeah, ideally you find a way to make it work, and yeah, Mike Brown could adjust his philosophy to make Cat feel more accommodated and comfortable because of how talented he is. But at the end of the day, this is a Knicks team that is still really good offensively. I believe they're top 5 in offense. They just can't guard anything. And quite frankly, when your 2 best players are 2 of the worst defenders in the league at their respective positions, that's a tough thing to navigate. If I'm honest, if I was the Knicks, I'd probably play out this season just based on the landscape of the East and see what you got. But I would be saying if we don't make it out the East this year, especially if it comes down to like the same things it did last year, where you couldn't close games consistently with your best 2 players because one or both of them are getting hunted, or you can't find a way to scheme around both of them defensively, the off season is probably when I'd be looking to make changes, whether that's Brunson or Cat or both of them. I don't know, but I think this season you probably still have to see how it goes. Maybe make a trade at the deadline, see what's available. I think Deuce McBride needs to play more.
I do too.
But I think this season is probably a season where you can still try to go. You were in the conference finals last year, and the team that you lost to in the conference finals isn't there no more. And the team that was presumably favored in the East in Boston isn't whole.
And you beat them, by the way.
Yeah, and you beat Boston. So it's like I'd probably just play out this season and see what happens. Not like don't change anything. There's obviously things that need to change. You do need Cat to be better. Cat's having his worst shooting season, I want to say, since he was a rookie. Sure. Yeah, since he was a rookie. He's shooting 36% from 3. That's crazy. He's shooting sub 50% from the field. He's averaging 21 points. Like, you need more from Cat. But I don't think that means you have no chance in the East, especially as it's presently constructed.
Mars, keep your GM hat on. I want you to keep your suit and your GM hat on. And to your point, we were just in the East Finals last season, right? So when you're going to let the coach go because you don't really like what's going on with Tibbs. Is it a rotation thing? Is it the way he handles, his secondary guys? Is he playing guys too many minutes? Is it the offense? Because to your point, they had a top 5 offense last year too, and that was largely due to Cat. In fact, we were up here having a conversation at one point during this time of the year last year that Cat could be a first-team All-Pro. We were having that conversation. With that being said, you move off the coach, Mars, okay, because you're not particularly fond of the coach because maybe you don't like the rotations. So when you sit down and you're interviewing a coach, what are we going over? What needs to change?
From last year?
Yes.
Or just
you're
in
sitting
general?
down with the coach X. What needs to change?
I think you need clarity on players' roles, particularly like the non-stars. Like, you know what Mikel is gonna do, you know what OG is gonna do, Brunson, you know their roles, but like, how do the other guys fit into this? How does Deuce McBride fit into this? What are your plans for Mitchell Robinson and Cat? Are we gonna be running double big lineups a lot? Are we gonna be going with Cat at the 5 so we can get more spacing? How do you plan on using Josh Hart because he has a unique skill set? What are your thoughts defensively about navigating Brunson and Cat defensively? Do you view avenues to make that a viable defense in a playoff setting? Um, and then also, like, what are you trying to implement? What culture are you trying to implement? What type of play style are you trying to implement? Are we going drastically away from Brunson ball? Are we going more towards it? Like, that would be the things I'd be asking a coach.
Sure.
Um,
And
yeah.
and with that, with everything that you just said, is it conducive to how we are right now? Okay, because Cat is an issue defensively. Jalen Brunson is an issue defensively. Offensively, I don't like the fact that Jalen Brunson has the ball in his hands as much. But I love the fact that Cat is a pick and pop big. I love the fact that we can play a little bit faster, and in addition to us playing faster, I can get Cat more involved in the game. Cat is a not a pick and pop big, but he's a finesse big. His game starts at the 15-foot line, it moves out, and then it moves in. That's more of where his game is. Now, when I'm looking at Mike Brown, is his philosophy conducive to Cat? Because one of two things is going to happen. We were just in the East Finals last year. Are we going to hold on to Cat, or are we going to change what we're doing completely?
Yeah, I think some of the, I mean, I seen that Jalen Brunson called a players only meeting. That was like reported or something. Like, some of it is just as simple as like the players have to buy into what's going on. And sometimes it's easier said than done. Like, sometimes you're just not bought into a coach's ideas. And I don't know if they are bought into Mike Brown's philosophies and ideas and whatnot. But there's times in like you see when the Knicks put it all together, they're a hard team to beat. They get stops, they score in the half court consistently, they have an abundance of talent. But then there's other games where like the effort is lackluster. And like that Dallas game, for example, they're just getting run out of the building because like no one's bothered to get back. They're not running the floor hard in transition. So it's like sometimes some things just are on the players just giving more effort, but then also like sometimes the players need to be motivated to give more effort, and that's not what it should be like. Sometimes like effort should be a prerequisite, but unfortunately these people are humans, not robots. So it's like, yeah, ideally everyone just gives effort baseline, but they don't. So how do you get that out of them? And I don't know what the answer to that is, but you can see like there's a few games, and I think that's probably what Knicks fans don't like the most, like especially with Cat, like his effort has been very up and down. And I think fan bases, as long as you're trying, you're putting forth effort, they're more tolerable to the results. Like, okay, yeah, we lost the game, but at least everyone was playing hard. They were trying, shots just didn't fall, whatever the case may be. I'm not saying like all fans of that look at it that way, but they'll be more tolerable to like a slump if everyone's playing hard. But when people aren't playing hard and you're losing, fans are probably gonna turn on you quicker. And I think that's probably why some Knicks fans are more angry at Cat. Like there was a play that went viral the other day where Cat fell on the floor, just refused to get back in transition. They played 5-on-4, and then the ball came out towards like half court. He thought he was gonna get the ball for a fast break dunk. He didn't, and then he just walked back on defense. Like plays like that, it's like, yeah, you're probably gonna lose Knicks fans that way. So if you can just up the effort, I think some of the results will change, and then fans will probably be more on side. And from a talent standpoint, you're probably still the best team in the East, just talent alone. So talent plus effort is a good blend, in my opinion.
I
So
think
two
at
things.
this like at this
Go ahead, I'm
level of
sorry.
basketball, Mars, I think that's a big. I think that's a big part of coaching at this level of basketball is just consistently getting the effort out of your players. I mean, it's like we talk a lot about skill development, but I don't really. It's not. Well, let me not say just a blanket statement, but for most head coaches, that's not really their job. You know what I'm saying? Skill development stuff.
It
like
really
that.
isn't, Ox. It isn't.
But at this level of basketball, it's like, you got people that do that, and he had the coach. I think coaches implement their sets, whatever. But in January, what you call the dog days of the season,
Yep.
is it's a big deal to be able to motivate guys to keep playing. You're playing 48 minutes of basketball. Obviously, you're not playing all 48 minutes, but we're 40 games into a season. People got stiff joints. People got jammed fingers. People got, bruises. It's all types of knick-knack things going on, a lot going on, a lot of travel. So at this point, it's just about getting that effort out of your guys. You got to be a good motivator, I think. But I also want to say I'm not mad at Brunson ball, if that's what we're calling it. Obviously I want to get the ball moving. We want to get things going on. But when it comes down to it, and it's just time to get straight buckets, I'm not mad at Jalen Brunson having the ball in his hands. Another thing too, y'all. I know we gotta talk about what's going on, but let's not forget this team is 2-8. They've lost 8 of their last 10 games.
2-9 actually.
Two of 8.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the last
9. Oh, their last 10. I'm sorry. Yes.
Last 10. So at the last 10 games, right, they're 2-8, right? So
yes, they lost. They dropped 8 of their last 10. That's correct.
Right. So they lost 8 of their last 10 basketball games, and they're still in the 3rd seed, 7 spots out of the 1st seed, if I'm not mistaken, and still got 40 games of basketball left to play. We all know that it's a season of runs. The New York Knicks are going to be okay. If you trade Karl-Anthony Towns, you only trade Karl-Anthony Towns for Giannis.
Which Milwaukee has made it clear they're not interested in that.
Okay, well, Cat, sit your ass down. Knicks fans, shut the hell up. Let's play some basketball.
So two things, Ox.
They'll be all right.
So 2 things, Ox, because I'm a glass half full guy, but this may sound glass half empty. So Ox just told us that they're in the 3rd seed and they're the 2.5 games. Just so you know, they're 2.5 games off the 9th spot too. So they're another week. New York. They're another week from being in the play-in tournament. That's where they are.
But they're getting chased by Toronto,
Philly,
Orlando, Cleveland.
Well, winning games, by the way, Ox. That's going on.
I mean,
Toronto. The Knicks are going this way.
Philly is 5-5 in their last 10. Orlando's 5-5 in their last 10. Yeah, Toronto's 6-4. New York is better than all 3 of those basketball teams.
Not right now. They're not, Ox. Not right now. They haven't been.
Are they really?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes. The Knicks are better than the Knicks are better than Toronto.
It's not a guarantee of anything.
I do think this is the best iteration that we've seen of the Jalen Brunson Knicks. This is the best version. They have the best.
And they started super hot.
This is the deepest they've been. They got their chemistry. Like this is the best version.
Yeah.
But I mean, I gotta really ask though: is this Mike Brown's fault then?
What is his fault? What is his fault? What's happening? What are we talking about?
What's happening is what's happening.
That they dropped a couple games in the 82 game season.
We can only look at what's going on right now. I know they have 40 more games
That's
going.
Very
I know,
narrow-minded,
but
Ron.
I know they have 40.
They can't
so what? I'm supposed to look at March? I'm supposed to look at April?
Yes,
that's
you
super
you can look at what
That's
happened at the
super
start and look at
short-sighted,
what's happening now. And I'm kind of like.
Did they go on an 11-2 run? Did they win 11 games and only lose 2?
Probably. I could check.
It's not just the
I'm
wins and
saying,
losses.
no,
like,
it's not
it's
for
not
us
just
to
wins.
wave the red
but-
flag right now that they've lost 9 out of their last 11 games. That's not narrow-minded.
It's not a big deal.
We can do whatever we want, but like there is a stretch of the season where they won. That's 4, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 8-1, 9-1, 10-1. They went 10-1 in 11 games. So like, there's a stretch where that happens as well.
Yeah.
But like, like there are going to be ebbs and flows through a season. So I'm with Ox. Like, this is the thing. We do a show every day. Yeah, we're gonna have to like react to all of these samples, and then the sky is falling when a team's losing, and then they're gonna be the best team ever when they're winning. That's kind of the thing when you have things to talk about for 3 hours every day. It's probably not the end of the world for New York. Right? That's probably the reality of it. But we have to act like it is, because what else are we going to talk about on this Wednesday morning?
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the check throw smoke and the host go ham. You ain't never seen hoops out hit the raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.